There we go. All right, good.
Chapter 9, Area 4.
Jason fell into the dark water with a loud splash. Down, down he sank beneath the surface. He held his breath for a moment until he realized he didn't have to. His suit and helmet protected him from the water, but not from the glowing jellyfish! They came at him, bubbling and beeping. Beeping? Since when do jellyfish beep? With each pulsation, their tentacles, please don't use tentacles and pulsation near each other, shut out, and then back again, back in again. Oh no, please don't say that either. Anyway, Jason had never been a good swimmer, but today he felt ready for the Olympics. He kicked hard and propelled himself backward. The jellyfish were slow to respond. Relieved, Jason flipped around and began to do an underwater dog paddle and came face to face with another pack of jellyfish. Taking on the jellies! He looked above and below. More jellyfish! They were closing in on him like a swarm of bees! Not the bees! There was no place to go. A shout raced towards Jason's lips. Never heard it put that way, but okay. But he held it back. Down here, no one would hear him. Down here, no one would hear him scream.
Oh no!
Down here, it would be a quick, silent, cold death. My gosh! This is a bleak book. The tentacle glided towards him. He lurched backwards. Youch! Blaster Master Hentai, everyone! The tip of the tentacle brushed his suit.
Please don't say tip. Tentacle.
Pierced through him. Oh no!
Oh my.
It felt like a lightning bolt. He wriggled right and left, barely avoiding...
Right and left?
Right and left. Barely avoiding tentacles. He scrunched his shoulders and pinned his arms to his side. And that's when he felt the gun. He hadn't thought of it. Okay. He hadn't imagined that it might work underwater. He still wasn't sure it would. He ripped it out of his holster and took aim. Blue! The noise was muffled underwater, but the laser darts made contact. Plume! A jellyfish disappeared, leaving a small whirlpool. Then another disappeared, and another. Jason's aim was perfect. One by one, he picked them off. Yay! Yay! Ah! He yelled, feeling like a gunslinger in an old western. It was time to get to the surface and find Eve, but now he had sunk so low, the water was almost pitch black. His thrust powerfully... What is up with this chapter?
Mind out of the gutter, please. I know I'm in a sewer level, but please keep your mind out of the gutter.
Oh gosh, and that's not the only time they use thrust too. Anyway, Bloom is perfect. Disappeared. Another Jason's aim was perfect. One by one, he picked them off. Yeah, he yelled. Western, blah blah blah. They fight Eve. He was sunk low. The whip was pitch black. He thrust powerfully with his arms and kicks. He felt as if he were standing still. He thrust and kicked again. This time he knew he wasn't standing still. The coral formations on the wall were rising, which meant he was sinking. It was the suit. He knew it. It was made for land travel, and it was too heavy to use underwater. He started to take it off, and then stopped himself. The suit was the only thing keeping him from drowning. Helplessly, he flailed in the water until he suddenly stopped moving. There was something beneath him, something gooey.
Ew.
He planted both feet. They sunk a few inches, but stayed put. He took stew steps.
What?
Stew steps? What the fuck does that mean?
You mean 2 steps?
Stew steps. That's funny. Two steps, expecting to plunge off a ledge. If only he could see. As if in answer, a flock of beeping. Stop saying that they're beeping! Jellyfish appeared to his left. Their glow cast dull light around him. Jason could see he was at the bottom of the lagoon. He grabbed his gun and fired. Yep, certainly looks what he's doing. One by one, the jellyfish exploded, sending out bursts of light, and in the last burst, Jason saw something that gave him hope. A ladder! Lifting his feet gingerly. Okay. Of his mark! Jason trudged blindly onward. He kept his hands in front of him, feeling for the ladder. When his fingers closed around the wooden rung, he began to climb. To climb, and climb, and climb! The farther he got from the bottom of the dark, the bottom, the less dark it was. He stopped counting the steps at 300. By then, he could see the top, a tiny ledge jutting out of the wall, just above the water. There was barely enough room on it to stand. On the wall, covered by a thick film of seaweed and algae, there was a small door. It was either go through the door or go back down the ladder. It took about half a second to make the choice. Jason ripped the seaweed away and pulled the door open. He stepped inside and cautiously looked around. There was a maze of pathways formed by a twisting hedge of plants. He carefully followed along the hedge, going left and right, trying to see what was ahead of him. Never once did he look behind, and that was his first mistake. When the blast hit him, it was from behind. He felt himself jerk forward, but he never felt himself hit the floor. By that time, everything had gone completely black. Chapter 10. Ugh! Ugh! Jason moaned. He had gone unconscious, and for a moment he had forgotten why. The second blast reminded him. It hurt like crazy. He scrambled to his feet and turned. A tiny metal machine was rolling towards him. It was shaped like a gumdrop. Okay. Except Jason had never seen a gumdrop with a gun turret on its head.
Gumdrop? More like a gun drop.
Yeah. Jason fired a gun blast from his laser gun. Really? I thought he fired it from his hand.
So he's Vanessa now?
Whoop. Muffled explosion. You are now an X gun drop, pal, he said. Keeping his gun out, he continued onward. He turned a sharp corner and vanquished 2 other gun drop robots. He clung to the hedge, inching along a narrow corridor. At the end, he had to take a sharp left. There, the path was cut off by a cement block wall. Piece of cake!
Piece of cake? Who else wants some?
Yeah, he said to himself, blasting his way through. Just as he expected, some of the blocks contained weapon capsules. He stopped at each one, absorbing the energy into his suit. He wasn't sure what he was going to do with that energy or how he would transfer it to Sophia, the third control board, but he'd worry about that later. The pathway was blocked by more walls, and Jason blasted through every one. Finally, he came to the other side of the cavern and realized that he had come all the way to see another door. With an exasperated grunt, Jason kicked it open. Clang!
Wait, what would an exasperated grunt sound like in our current Jason voice? Well, that's more of a
That's pretty good. Clang, clang, clang! It felt as if someone was banging a gong in his ear. He cringed and backed towards the door.
He cringed.
Greetings, my friend. You made it. Came the Acme booming voice. The Acme booming voice? Like the company that Wile E. Coyote buys his stuff from?
I think they mean acne.
Okay. Jason and Eve.
Hello, my friend. Give this guy like a hyper. Well, actually, no.
From Jason. Voice, and Ethan had heard before. Booming voice. The Jason. Oh, that's still like the main bad guy? Oh, wait. Who is this?
It's another guy.
Okay. Greetings, my friend. You made it. Came the Acme, the booming voice. Jason and Eve had heard before. Jason looked around, but there was nothing but an empty chamber. What's the matter? You ran out of rhymes? He asked out loud, mustering up his bravery. It's difficult to feel poetic when I'm preparing for a kill.
Oh yeah, okay, it is the main bad guy, sorry.
It's difficult to feel poetic when I'm aiming for a kill. The words sent a shiver up Jason's spine.
I never had words do that before.
Yeah. I'm not afraid of you, he retorted.
He was lying.
My robots weren't afraid of you. Look at what happened to them. I have had enough of your kind. Prepare to die. Jason lifted.
That was the worst delivery.
Prepare to die. Jason lifted his laser gun. Easy for you to say, swamp breath. I love how he's trying to sound cool. A low rumble began. It seemed to come within the walls and below the ground. Jason thought it was an earthquake, but as the noise got louder, he realized he was wrong. It was laughter, sinister, ugly laughter. Sliced through the something. I lost my place, damn it. Sliced through Jason like a knife. Well, it better be like a knife. It was actually through Jason, he'd be dead. Where are you? He cried out. He was starting to shake. I'll get you, Plutonia boss! The laughter. He became a wild, bellowing cackle. Jason... Jason whirled around, trying to spot anything. Then the chamber fell into darkness. The laughter swelled louder. Jason couldn't stand it. Another minute. He reared back his head and let out a scream that ripped his vocal cords. I like that. And when he opened his eyes, he was momentarily blinded. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. There it goes. But in that flash of light, he had glimpsed his enemy. The sight alone was almost. I almost said the sight alone was alone. The sight alone was almost enough to make him pass out. He covered his eyes and staggered backward. He couldn't think, could barely move, and even though he wasn't looking, he could feel it was coming towards him. I'll let you take one more glance, said the enemy, and then I'll blow you off the face of the earth! Oh, he's got one. That's a shame. Chapter 11. Jason slumped to the ground. He tried to take his arms away from his face, struggling to look at the dreadful thing before him. Suddenly, he was yanked off his feet. He flew in the air and landed several feet away. His head throbbed. His body was screaming with pain. He gasped for the breath that had been knocked out of him. He could no longer afford to cover his eyes. He had to see what was attacking him. Lifting his aching head, he looked straight at his adversary. For the first time, his body tensed with shock. It was that terrible Dr. Claw action figure. No, just kidding. It wasn't the glare. His eyes had adjusted to that. It was the sheer ugliness. 1 minute, it looked like an enormous bloated mass of animal blubber. The next minute, it looked like a picture of a tumor Jason had seen in a magazine. It's not a tumor.
The tumor he's seen in a magazine.
The next minute, but it was alive. It's alive.
It's a living tumor.
Its lumpy skin palpitating like a human heart. Limp feelers hung like hairs of a scraggly beard. Ho, 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 Jason. Its color was a putrid greenish yellow. As it throbbed, it turned to red and gave out a groaning sound, along with a sickening squish squish.
Why did we have to have tentacles throbbing, thrusting, squishing?
Oh, God. Fireballs orbited around it at lightning speed. Only in video games, folks. They came within inches of Jason, and he scrabbled away.
Scrabbled?
That's right. He grabbed his letters and he put them in formation of words.
I've heard of scrambled away.
Scrambled away, yes, but
Scrabble?
I think the people that wrote this book were from another planet too. Fireballs orbited around and laser. Have a little laser fire, you. Have a little laser fire, you mutant! Jason said. He aimed his gun and pulled the trigger. The laughter welled up again. Ha ha ha! What was that? Did I feel a change in the wind? The mutant blob thundered.
Feels like a fly bit me!
Jason fired again and again. Each time the laser ricocheted off an invisible shield formed by the orbiting fireballs. As long as Jason was outside the orbit, he knew his shots would never penetrate. We had to have that word in there. Would he be able to get inside the orbit? Would that work? There was only one way to find out. Stepping quickly, Jason walked towards the mutant. The fireball's orbit changed constantly, rising and falling. Sometimes it was at eye level. Sometimes it rose high into the air. He waited patiently for the right moment, watching the fireballs whoosh by with blinding speed. When the moment was right, he rushed in. Blow! Blow! Blow!
Jason's not the one making those sounds.
Though it would be funny. Bloop, 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 blue, 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 blue. I don't think I even know how to make that sound. Pew, pew, pew. That's the default. Like a laser shooting sound. Pew, pew. Pew, 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 pew. This time, when the shots met their marks. The blob glowed bright white and...
Mark, you didn't tell me you met any shots.
Bright white and swelled. It let out a high-pitched squeal. Jason was inches away from it now. He could feel the intense heat through his suit. Behind him, the fireballs were changing orbit. Their flames were beginning to lick at his helmet. Please don't describe it like that. Oh, Jason, lick. Get these flames off me! He turned around and dove into the air with a perfect command roll. He landed on the ground and ran safely away.
What the fuck is a command? You mean a combat roll?
I have a commando roll. These commando rolls are delicious.
A commando roll. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. By the commando roll, keep that in mind. Okay, just meet today's boss. It's not Fred.
Okay.
It's Ribby Roll.
Ribby Roll. Raggy, it's Ribby Roll.
Anyways,
Scoob!
continue.
Anyway, look at his helmet. He turned around and dove into the air. Perfect commando. That's what I read that. I have been too nice to you, the creature boomed. Now I will crush you like a mosquito.
By the way, I just want to mention, this boss always does the same pattern of attacks.
Okay.
So he'll do that, and then then afterwards he'll shoot a fireball that tries to home in on me, and then after that he licks, and then it goes back.
Okay. I've been too nice to you. Now I shall crush you with it like a mosquito. Well, don't underestimate mosquitoes. Saitama certainly did. Pulsing ferociously, the blob came closer. Jason jumped away. His back slammed against the dirt wall. He slid against the wall, moving to the right. The creature came after him. Jason groped with... What is up with this one? Actually, this whole session. Anyway, groped with his hand, not daring to turn around. Hoping to feel a corridor opening. Please stop! He never did. Instead, he found a corner. Uh-oh! Was all he could say. The creature roared with laughter. Feeling cozy, I hope? There was no place to go, but Jason went forward. Jason lunged! I don't know why I didn't think that word existed. Jason lunged towards the creature, screaming a war cry at the top of his lungs. Die, Plutonium boss! He barely missed being clobbered by a fireball. Clobbered is not the word I'd use for that, but okay. Stepping inside the orbit, he let him loose with a barrage of laser fire. The creature swelled and glowed bright white, screeching. It tried to move away. It twisted and lurched, attempting to pull the fireball inward. Yeah. Jason copied it, move for move. Damn, this kid is talented.
I may be a wimp, but I'm the best on my school sports team. I don't know which sport, though.
He gritted his teeth, showed bright white within his helmet. His index finger clamped tightly onto the trigger. Now the creature was frantic. When it swelled, it gave off a horrendous odor, like the swamp, its raging skin bubbled at Jason, showing his leaves. Blue! With an ear-splitting crash, Jason was hurled backwards. Once again, he slammed against the wall. Intense pain ripped through him, followed by naked terror. The terror had no clothes. A fireball must have hit him from behind. He thought he heard an explosion, but it was probably the ring of pain in his ears. The plutonium boss would be mad, real mad, and this time there would be no mercy. He bolted upright and faced the creature, gripping the gun with two arms. Gripping the gun with two arms.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it mean he was clasping with both hands.
Yes, that's what it should say. I just like to think he's using it with he's using the trigger with his elbow.
he's giving his gun a good old hug. You gotta hug your gun. Come on.
Hug your gun. Come on. He held it rock steady and bebop and shot blindly. The laser streaked across the room and buried itself in the opposite wall. Jason dropped his arms. The room was empty. He could see the air pulsing with the spent energy of a destroyed radioactive mutant. I did it! Jason, oh wait. I did it! Jason whispered as if to convince himself. Then louder. I did it! He dropped to his knees and began shaking with uncontrollable laughter. I, Jason Frudnick, killed the plutonium boss!
If only it were that easy.
He ran through the door and ran back through the other chamber.
I mean, you congratulations, you just beat the first boss, kiddo.
Let's see. Convinced himself. Oh, he did it. He killed the plutonium boss. He ran through the door, ran back through the other chamber. Then he saw another gumdrop. I said gumdrop robot. He vanquished it with a behind the back shot. At the other end, he opened the door and stepped out onto the ledge. All he had to do now was find Eve.
By the way, I just want to point out, this was a lot harder in the Japanese version. This is like one of the few things they changed. In the Japanese version, you had to like do this insane drop and catch a tiny ass little ladder.
Wow.
Anyways.
Maybe that would be too hard. He fired a laser beam into the air, tracing a wide circle. He did it to the left and... To the left, to the left, to the right, to the right.
I'm at the, end of...
Okay, well this chapter's almost over anyway. If he was looking for him, she'd be sure to see it. It was right. He was right. Within minutes, Sophia III, feels like it's been a while since I said that, appeared on a ledge above him as he stepped back into the doorwell. Eve maneuvered the vehicle onto the ledge. Her door flew open. Any luck, she asked? Did you get some weapon power? Jason grinned triumphantly. We're not going to need it! I beg your pardon, Eve said, eyeing him curiously. Bubbling with excitement, Jason grabbed his arms. Eve, I got him! Got him? A look of astonishment washed across Eve's face. You don't mean you killed the plutonium boss? That's exactly what I mean! Came an earth-shaking voice. Wait.
That's exactly what he means.
Oh. That's exactly what he means! Came an earth-shaking voice. Jason felt his stomach clench. The cavern shook with the plutonium boss's grim laughter!
See you next time, folks.
See you next time. Bye later. All right, and